So MrBeast is the biggest YouTuber on the planet, right? Probably the biggest like internet celebrity in general. And, you know, he has this like group of friends. One of them, I think like the main one, kind of like the oldest one, being Chris, right? And so recently Chris came out and told the world that he was on HRT. In a kind of unfortunate way for them, someone tweeted out, "Bro, WTF happened," showing two pictures. Chris looking more, I guess, kind of like traditionally masculine on the left, and how he looks now. Chris responds, "HRT, and it's only been 2 months. I'm genuinely so glad so many people are learning what HRT is and how it can and has helped so many people because of my tweet. I was super nervous to be public about this because I've always been so private when it comes to this. But seeing conversations started because of me is amazing." Now, I understand why he would want to be private about this because, you know, anytime the trans issue, it feels weird saying the issue, like the existence of trans people seems to be a real hot button topic for people these days. And not even that they're doing anything, just the fact that they are people and exist. And so obviously the backlash, he saw it coming. That's why he wanted to be private and just enjoy his life being the person that he is. So Chris gets a lot of backlash from weird trolls on Twitter. That's just going to happen. Trolls are going to troll. But unfortunately for them, they actually ended up getting a lot of backlash from YouTubers, a lot of like drama, you know, tea channels, all this stuff. Not most of them, but there are some like the commentary, the side of commentary YouTube that's not so great. Let's just be honest. And so this person, Sunny V2, who has 3.4 million subscribers, which is an insane amount. This video has been out for a couple hours, already has 1 million views, over 1 million views. And the title, "Why Chris Will Soon Be a Nightmare for MrBeast," which right off the bat seems like a crazy title. Like just being like, hey, this person existing and being who they truly are, that's a real problem for me. Like someone who isn't even involved with this. But the description of the video, Chris Tyson has been in a bit of hot water recently. Why, you might ask? Because, you know, trans. And there have been plenty of videos on that. But how will this drama affect MrBeast? Yeah, the real issue here is not how this drama will affect the person who's been getting constantly berated and harassed on the internet for existing as the person that they are. How will this affect the MrBeast brand? Is this going to be MrBeast's biggest controversy today, or will Jimmy be able to steer the ship clear waters as he usually does? Does his friend Carl Jacobs and the Carl effect have anything to do with how Chris became? So for those of you who don't know, the Carl effect, which was another video I'm pretty sure popularized by this person, this same person, is the idea that Carl Jacobs, another member of MrBeast's like main team, is not only like gay himself, I think, but also is forcibly feminizing the entire MrBeast audience and crew and making everyone gay. And there are people who speculate that Chris is now trans because Carl made him trans. He transed him. He hit him with a trans ray gun. And then Chris is supposedly leaving his wife for Carl now. None of these things are true, obviously. I'm just pointing out that this is the level of derangement the internet has gotten to over this situation. Does the Carl effect have anything to do with how Chris became the most hated MrBeast member? No. The only thing that has anything to do with how MrBeast became the most hated MrBeast member is transphobia. That's it. But most people have two starting points to transphobia, to trans people: indifference or hatred. There's very few people who like just come out and be like, yeah, you know what? I'm actually cool with trans people. Like let's just be honest. For me, pretty early on, I had a non-binary cousin. I had a cousin come out as non-binary, and they were one of my favorite cousins. We grew up together. We were around the same age. They were one of my best friends when I was a kid. When they came out as non-binary, I think I was like 15 maybe. They were like 17, 18. And so for me, it was like, well, I mean, they're still my cousin. We grew up together, so I guess I'm cool with this. And that's where it started for me. But up until that point, I had never thought about like a trans person. Actually, up until that point, I was like pretty transphobic. I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was weird. I would like make jokes similar to some of the jokes going around that people were like, oh, well, MrBeast and Chris used to make like transphobic jokes. Yeah, it was 2014, dog. We were all doing it. Let's just be honest. But as you grow and evolve as a person, you learn that those things are hurtful to people and you stop doing it. So now, similar to what has happened to MrBeast, you have all it takes is one person to be like, oh, so trans people are just people. Cool. And then you go on. But like, since there's so few trans people, most people don't actually know a trans person or like a non-binary person. So they're just like, I don't really get it. I think it's kind of weird. And, you know, I see Fox News or whatever, anywhere talking about like spreading so much transphobia that it's just like, it becomes ingrained in you. And a lot of people have that. So what impact will this have on MrBeast's channel? This is why Chris will soon be a nightmare for MrBeast. Thanks for watching, guys. Like and sub if you enjoyed. Just an insane thing to write about something. It seems these people really like MrBeast more than I realized, I guess, because people were really invested in this, and now it's just like, man, they are really going hard to keep MrBeast from enjoying himself and like being friends with his friend, his childhood friend, who's now living their life. That's it. And honestly, the video itself is so much worse than like the description. I don't even want to say go watch it because it is bad. If you're curious, go watch it. I don't know if this person's gonna strike down videos for this, but it's not great. He says some wild things about Chris and MrBeast and just in general, like speculating on his family. Again, talking about how is this all a big plot? Carl Jacobs is the mastermind behind it. Some crazy stuff. Like, I don't know. It just really deranged when you get to talking around like trans issues on the internet. It's just like, it's so stupid. It's like just random stuff to get upset about. But yeah, all these people are complaining about like, oh man, MrBeast hates Chris now. Think about MrBeast. How's this going to feel about MrBeast? MrBeast is cool with this. He's been defending his friend, obviously, because that's his friend. Since he came out, I'm pretty sure like Chris didn't announce to the world and MrBeast at the same time. I'm pretty sure someone who's been his friend for a long time knew what he was going through behind the scenes just because we as the public didn't know. This new Sunny V2 video feels really invasive for all the wrong reasons. Like, why did you make this? You delved into a man's marriage and really off-putting and unnecessary. MrBeast responds, yeah, this is getting absurd. Chris isn't my nightmare. He's my friend and things are fine. All this transphobia is starting to piss me off. Hell yeah, common MrBeast W. Yeah, from now on, MrBeast Burger is serving knuckle sandwiches exclusively for transphobes. You heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. But like, shout out MrBeast. Honestly, I do think someone with this much influence and notoriety, like seeing that MrBeast isn't transphobic, because like I said, all it took for me to stop being transphobic was for one cousin to be like, I'm non-binary. And I was immediately like, oh, dang. So when I say something transphobic, if I make a joke, if I say like a hurtful thing, that's my cousin that could be, you know, think about them. And seeing MrBeast, I actually think this goes a long way to help people realize that like, oh, you don't have to be transphobic. Cool. I think Hassan had a really good take. Trans people get shit on in the most deranged ways for simply existing. Now they done up and made MrBeast mad. Yeah, this is like the thing. The MrBeast army will ride to him to a fault. I made a video about MrBeast one time and said it's kind of like cringe how he goes about doing his charity. But overall, my point of the video was that he's doing a net positive. It's cringe, yes, but he's helping people, so who cares? Cringe isn't a crime. And I still get people like in my replies commenting on that video, going crazy, like asking why I hate MrBeast. Answer to that is, I don't. I just thought it was kind of cringe. I think MrBeast is just a cringe person, but he's cringe. With, I believe, a good heart, good morals. He typically does the right thing. I can't think of a time where MrBeast did something like heinous or outright terrible. I just think he's kind of cringe. I mean, you know, cringe isn't a crime. I've said this like 100 times on this channel. It's okay to be cringe, especially when you're actually doing like the right thing. You're doing good things, you know? So I do think since MrBeast came out and talked about this and other big creators have come out and supported Chris, it does seem like the narrative, not the narrative, but like the amount of what's going on. Cause it was just, for the first couple days, it was just hate everything I saw. And I was like, dang, dude, this gotta suck. And then as it started to come out more and more, TikTok was going crazy, obviously. I've been avoiding that app. I hate using it now. It's so terrible. It's the worst, but it's gotten better, I think. I think things are getting better in the MrBeast drama. This isn't even drama. It's literally just like bigoted people being upset that a trans person exists. That's literally it. That's all there is to it. But yeah, don't be transphobic. At the end of the day, trans people are just people trying to live their lives. They're not hurting anyone. I don't care about your opinions on this. I really don't. My mind is made up on this already. Leave trans people alone. That's pretty much it. Thanks for watching. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, ring the bell, and also make sure you stop being mean to trans people on the internet. All right? They're dealing with enough with all their rights trying to be taken away, so they don't need you on top of that. All right? Go somewhere. Okay, bye.